What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the A Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcast, episode 402. Keep in mind, I'm going to stop doing this.
I
Probably
yeah,
next week.
I'm glad it's easy for you now. But
Yeah,
by the
it's
time it's
so
like
easy.
4:36, you're just gonna be like, all right, whatever, bro.
I am here with Meelz.
I
What's
think I
up?
was in in class 402 in fourth grade. I think that's a relevant number for me. I can't remember. I
Uh,
might have been 401. I'm
I
not
think my
sure.
I think my English class in college was 402. I
Oh,
was in
okay.
English 402. Yeah.
I didn't make it that far in English. I only made, I graduated electrical engineering degree. It's a flex when I go on these interviews and they be like, "You did what?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just in here thugging it out." You know what I'm saying? Not being an engineer, but here we are. Um, but of course, we are not alone this
Yes,
episode.
sir.
Who we
Yeah.
got on the line, Justin?
We have the winner. Have no clue how this happened, by the way. The winner of our Royal Rumble Pool 2025. I think this was on the women's side. Was it?
Has to be right,
Mhm,
Bosa.
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it was on the women's side. Who the fuck won the Rumble? Oh, Charlotte.
Charlotte.
We have, of course, once again on the
Bosa,
show,
lower your mic
Bri.
down a taste.
Oh,
Just a
oh.
taste. Just a taste. Just a taste. Not crazy. Not
Okay.
crazy. The sound is immaculate, by the way. I'm just letting you know.
Oh,
But
thank you. That's my
Bosa
goal.
likes to ball out on the mic.
I
But
know, I know. That's why I'm preempting this before we get too deep. But it's definitely Charlotte.
Bri Bosa once again on the show. What's up, Bosa?
Hello. Back to back Bosa.
How'd that
When I tell
happen?
you, that night was so funny because it's going by, the Rumble's going by. I'm like, because I had 27. I'm like, 27's a winnable number. I did the research the night before. I'm like, hold on. There may be a shot here. And then as we're in the 20s during the Rumble, and as we approach 25, I'm like, Charlotte don't need to win at 30. I was like, Charlotte, she should come out anytime. And then 26, whoever 26 was, I was like, yeah, go ahead. And then when 27 hit and we heard that bow down, all hail the queen, I said, oh. And then the fight, I was on cloud 9 times 9. Man, you would have been
That
ahead of
is
me.
fun. The fact you won twice to me is
Back to back.
the odds of that is just it's incredible. First of all, the odds of it, not only that, we have to pick you're in a lottery again. So it's not like you just get picked to be in this thing. I have to do the odds to get you in the lottery, and you have to get selected for the lottery again, and then you win again. It's kind of crazy. Um,
It's
but
the
here we
Bosa
are.
power.
It
Here
is,
we
it
are.
is, it is what it is, man. If you go three, if you go 3 for 3,
Hey,
we
man.
gonna have some questions. What divine energy you're getting lent this power from is what I'll say.
It's no energy. It's no energy. When you move like me, things just happen. Things just come your
Well,
way. You feel
Here
me?
we go.
all
Oh,
right.
whoa. Hey,
Can
hey,
I?
hey.
We also here to ask you a question. I've been holding on to this question for a while, actually.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
Justin, I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember when we were told of all the drama that went down in the WWE 2K?
Yeah. Are you still in the league?
Well, yes.
So
Like what?
if people don't know our Discord, and then I'm assuming it's other people outside of our Discord as well, or it might be just is it just our Discord,
I think
Bosa?
it's just the Discord. It's just
Okay, all right.
and maybe the occasional friends, but it's mainly the Discord. The main
So
folks at Discord. Yeah.
we apparently have a 2K league.
WWE 2K, not NBA.
Yeah, WWE 2K league. That has gotten rough, rowdy, disrespectful. Feelings have been hurt.
People have quit our chat because of this.
And
People quit our chat,
we
and
had
I
to find
didn't
that
know.
out.
We had to find out through you guys in a channel on the Discord that was not the channel they left from.
We had to find out, and we also had to find out about everything everybody's doing. I think did you leave the league at some point? Like, what's going on?
I, so I didn't leave. You know. Sometimes you have a bad match, right? And sometimes you get sent, you get put on a stretcher after a match. You
Sure.
feel me? You get sent out, and you just got to sell. And that's what I did. I sold. I did the business. Paul tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey kid, take a few weeks off." I said, Sure, got you." And I did. That's what happened. Nothing more, nothing less. You feel me?
Justin,
But
you believe this shit?
I
what?
believe it because I'll occasionally hop in, but that chat moves a mile a minute. There are people in that NBA or WWE 2K chat that barely speak in our main chats that are talking like this just their room. Like this, they just in there chilling. Like I'm like, bro, I never see these people talking and they're talking here crazy. But I mean, there's also people in there like Sid, shout out to Sid. Obviously Cornell. I guess he's the commissioner now. I don't because
Yeah.
I'm Ari Emanuel, so I just kind of let y'all, if the ratings start dipping, I'm gonna come into the room and say, "What's going on? Who do I need to
Listen,
fire? Who do I need to hire?" But I mean, I don't know what's going on in there.
I'm not trying to. We're not trying to banish people to over the collision, boy. We're not trying to have no CM Punk situation over here.
It's
So
good rocks. It's good rocks over there.
I
Sorry.
mean, it's a. But you guys have pay-per-views pretty consistently,
Yeah.
um,
Mm-hmm.
which is part of. So make sure. I mean, if you want to join the Discord again, the price is not changing for this one. Trust me. We've thought of, I've started thinking in my head, I was like, maybe we add some changes to the Discord. For sure, considering how another Discord situation went that wasn't our Discord went a number of
Mm.
months ago,
Hey.
where things got leaked, people got told, people had to take hiatuses from Twitter. Not gonna say who. The price of the Discord is not changing. It's a one-time, lifetime fee, but it is the fee nonetheless. So make sure you guys, if you have not subscribed to our Patreon, $5 for the full show, $20 to join the Discord. It's there for a reason. Trust me. It's $20 for a reason. Trust me. Um, but that's kind of crazy. What the fact we had to hear about all of this, I was like, people have left. I was like, yo, where has he been for months? Like, we're trying to figure this out, and it's like, oh well.
And be clear, this was like a active community member, Bosa. So like for him to just disappear one day, I was like, wait, what happened to him? Is like, oh,
It
he left because
was.
of some beef in WWE 2K. What? Huh?
Bosa had beat. Bosa
Yeah.
apparently had knocked his
No,
off. Like,
that wasn't why he left. That was so different, but he was mad at me. He was mad at me. I did him dirty, but hey, I'm not the culprit here. I'm not the bad guy, man.
I did him dirty. All right.
Hey, man.
we might have to talk to other bodies in this chat to really get the full story.
Hey, man. All I'm saying is the game said click dirty pin. And I dirty pinned. I don't know what you want from me. Bro.
Hey man, WWE 2K. It's
It gets
available
wicked.
now. It gets wicked. That's the
gets
tagline
wicked.
for next year. It
That's
gets
actually
wicked.
good. Wait.
I got a
Go
vent.
ahead.
I got a
Talk
vent
about it.
Okay.
before we start. Okay. Because I woke up very upset and my energy was vexed this morning.
Right.
Because everyone knows that I am a AMC A-lister till I die. All right. Everybody
Ooh.
knows this. So every month they have something called Screen or Scream Unseen, where they'll play an upcoming horror movie or an upcoming movie that, they're just trying to get out there and get the word of mouth out about, right? So we've seen a couple of these. We've been to a couple of these secret screenings. Obviously, they're not so secret because people on the East Coast see them before us, and you can just go on Reddit and see what they are.
Yeah.
So yesterday we had a Scream Unseen. Me and my wife love horror movies, okay? So I was like, okay, well, we booked it, and we're just gonna go ahead and check it out, right? So last night we thought we were getting what was it that movie Together with David
I'm
Franco
excited for that one. Yeah.
and
Okay.
Allison Brie. We thought we were getting that last night. It was not that. It was not that. The first thing I saw was Pete Davidson, and I said, "Oh no, it's The Home." This is a trailer that I don't know. Have you seen the trailer, Bosa, for The Home?
Not The Home. I haven't seen that one yet. Ooh, what's this?
Well, don't worry, because I'm gonna spoil it for you guys today on the A
Okay.
Show, free of charge. free of fucking charge. Okay.
The Home. Okay.
The secret movie was The Home. So Pete Davidson plays a foster child who, when he was younger, his brother died of mysterious circumstances, and he, I guess, becomes like a graffiti artist or some shit, and he gets caught, he gets busted. I'm like, who's gonna arrest you and put you in jail for that? Like, who the fuck does that? So him and his foster parents, they get him a community service gig at a old folks home where all things don't seem to be what they are, what they are or what they seem to be.
Of course.
He hears screaming in the walls. He sees people acting strangely. He sees an old woman fucking somebody in the first 15 minutes.
Ruh-roh.
And then let me just go ahead and just speed run through this. He befriends one of the people there. She says, "Hey, something's going on here. It's not right. Don't go to the fourth floor." He goes to the fourth floor and he sees an old man attack him. And all these people, their eyes are bleeding and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, okay, what the fuck's going on? At this point, I would say about 15 minutes into this movie, everyone kind of just they were just resigned to their fate. No one left, but everyone just kind of knew this is gonna suck.
It's just accepted.
Pete Davidson is giving one of the worst performances of any movie I've ever seen in my life. My review for this movie, I said, Ari Aster ambitions, Tubi mentality, because that's literally what this movie is.
What the?
That's literally what this movie is. I'm just gonna go ahead and fast forward and spoil the twist for you.
Okay.
So he finds out. Well, the whole thing that they make you think is that they're doing experiments on people, and it's like some type of gene therapy type shit. It's like a conspiracy going on. No, that's not it. The people were playing a trick on Pete Davidson to make him think it was. They're essentially all the old people there are like 100 and 200 years old, and what they do is they take young people, young foster kids, and they put a needle behind their eye on their right eye because you can sap the essence from their eye. Because they believe in a deity called Daya, and they worship her. So they suck the essence out of the people's eyes, and they drink it, and they're able to have sex and live for a long time. And they trick Pete Davidson. And remember the old guy I told you in the beginning?
Yeah,
that was his brother. Because when they suck the essence out of your eye, you age faster, but you're still the same age. So you get older, but since it's your essence, you are like a 100-year-old man. So they capture Pete Davidson, they suck the essence out of his eye, and then his brother breaks the piece of his wheelchair off when he's sitting on the fourth floor at that point. He breaks a piece of his wheelchair off, and then he stabs everyone in the room's eyes to free them. And then he makes Pete Davidson drink it because he still has a young, mobile body. And then Pete Davidson breaks out of the shackles and kills all the people in the home with an axe. And then with him and his big ass teeth, escape the home with his brother. And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, just the way you describing it, I'm definitely not gonna see it. Not in any particular way you were describing it, but just the lack of. Yeah, I mean, this would be like the 26th recommended anime for me.
Bro,
This would be far down the line.
Pete Davidson is legitimately our nation's worst actor.
Is this like
in history?
Is this post removal of all the tattoos and getting new tattoos?
You can tell he's trying to remove them because some of them are faded.
Like faded. Oh,
yeah, like they're faded, but like they didn't even spend no time doing it. You could his I didn't know he had them all over his chest and his back. They're
Yeah.
visible.
He removed them,
man.
and he
they're
looked
gone?
fucking weird. Yeah, he removed them. I think he got new ones, but he went through a whole process to remove all of his tattoos. He looked fucking weird.
This might be before then. I'm not quite sure, but like there's a part where a lady falls to her death from where's the thing? The nursing home says they're the fourth floor, but on the outside exterior shots, it's clearly only 2. So I'm wondering where the fourth floor was.
That's
in this home.
Floor. Yeah,
it's terrible. So the lady falls into like the gate and it has spikes on it. And Pete Davidson, I'm like, he's just like sitting there like, whoa. And I'm like, can you please just act shocked or act like you fucking care or something? He no-sells everything in this fucking movie.
This would need to be something I like. I this is getting my AMC free movie of the week. And just to give it the letterbox 2. I need to.
Don't see this movie. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It comes out this Friday. Go see Superman again. Don't do it.
Or go see Fantastic Four.
Nah, fuck off. Go see Superman again. I won't be seeing Fantastic Four for like until like mid-August when all the people are gone. That's how I saw Captain America when there was nobody there to cheer and clap. That's when I'm gonna go see it.
Hey, no one was cheering and clapping weekend one. You would have been okay.
Mhm.
Ain't nobody. What we
I
gonna
said,
cheer for?
I'll admit this. I legitimately, this is the first, today was the first time I saw anything related to the Fantastic Four movie. I promise you, it's today. And I looked at it, I was just like, huh,
Well,
all
that's
right.
funny. That's
Yeah.
Oh,
funny because you couldn't fucking escape Superman this whole month.
No, I couldn't. No, not at all. But this is like legitimately the first time. But I'm looking at him. I just wanted to see who was in it. I was like, okay, Pedro
This is this is also
Pascal.
the second time I've been to the movies in the last week that JJK fans were out in abundance. Isn't that just the re-release of the movie that came out a
Yeah,
couple years ago?
yes, but I even low
oh,
key, I thought of going to go see it too because
What
I
the
just
fuck? I
wanted to
was like,
be.
I didn't know it was a re-release. I didn't know that. I thought it
yeah,
was
No,
I was
it's
actually a
like,
new
a
movie.
didn't they already put out Hidden Inventory? I saw it like years ago during COVID.
yeah, yeah, no, it was it's not a movie. It's actually the episodes for season 2. It's the first 5 episodes of season 2.
That's so
Um
crazy. Did they add something new?
no, they just released it in theaters. That's the new anime. That's the new
And
anime jig. Is
yeah,
we're gonna release. They did it with Dragon Ball Daima. They released the first 3 episodes dubbed
yep.
of Dragon
Mhm.
Ball Daima in theaters in like November before they actually released the dub in like January.
Yeah.
And they do that literally all the time, like just jigging the audience, scamming people. So it's gonna be like that. Demon Slayer comes out in like 2 months. Excited for that kind of.
But watch out because it's already out in Japan and it's
Yeah,
it's
I haven't
scary.
seen any. I haven't
I
seen any
haven't it right. Mm-mm.
spoilers yet, but I also read the manga, so I kind of know what's going on anyway.
Yeah, anime in theaters is actually no joke. I remember the first time my dad and I took him to see My Hero. I think it was the first My Hero movie in theaters. And he was just like, "What is like you would think Stone Cold was in the room with each characters just pop up on screen and the crowd erupted." I'm sorry, anime movies experience is worse than any MCU experience. They will not let the characters talk on screen.
No, not
It's
at
gotten
all.
it's gotten better over the years, but like you said, it's the scamminess of it is what's nasty. Demon
Yeah,
Slayer, I would never let them last 2 episodes of that previous season, and then the first episode of Sorcerer's
yeah.
Arc. It was
That's
boring. I said, "Ill."
that's what they do now, Justin. They will they'll the last Demon Slayer film thing was the last 2 episodes of the last arc, and then the first episode of the newest arc, and then that was it. And then the movie
Yeah.
ended.
Movie
Literally, just
ended.
like, oh, it's over. Like I didn't even know the episode was over. I was like, oh, it's over. Okay. And it just is what it is. But that's the new jig. Um, it is what it is, unfortunately. Um, speaking of complaining, we got wrestling news to talk about this week.
Yeah,
'Cause
unfortunately.
we got literally. I say this because last week I think we did a good job over like the last like 4 weeks saying like, yo, Goldberg is important. Goldberg deserves this moment. What a great moment for Goldberg. The match with Gunther was fire. You know what I'm saying? It's a shame he got cut off, but it is what it is.
Normal people thoughts.
Normal discussions, something people, natural.
A- As we were recording our podcast, Goldberg was on Helwani.
See
And
what happens.
then, yeah, go ahead.
See what happens when you let a man speak for you. Like you see what happens when you just let them go on the devices. Oh.
He was on Helwani pretty much saying that he did not enjoy this retirement, which I guess he has the right to feel that he didn't fully enjoy it. Um, he thought they played him on purpose by cutting things off. He thought he should have had more time to run, a longer run heading towards his retirement. He said they wouldn't have done this to John Cena or Undertaker, and he felt like he deserved more for what he did. And
Well,
then I
when
guess in the
he said the John Cena part in Undertaker, I said, yeah, they wouldn't, motherfucker. Yeah,
That's
no,
the
they
first
wouldn't.
thing. Like, I'm sorry, they transcend culture. Goldberg, love you. your bubble is still here. Like, mm-mm.
Yeah, I truly I felt so dumb because I think like the worst thing of that whole
I didn't feel dumb.
conversation.
I still think he is great, but I just think he's. I'm just like, what are you complaining about?
I felt dumb. No, I felt more dumb, like just being like, "Oh, that was like the part that I felt dumb for." Like when I was like, "Oh, I like the chop spot." The chop spot was really funny.
Oh yeah,
Come to
yeah,
find out, the chop
Only
spot wasn't planned at all.
yeah.
oh man. And that I'm sorry. If I'm Gunther, I'm never talking about you again. You gonna say, "Oh, it didn't hurt." Okay, boy. That like how does that make I'm the current world champion. I'm the one who's giving you a retirement match. Gunther's selling for him the whole match, and giving him his flowers all towards the match, even afterwards. And the first thing you say on an interview is that, "Hey, his biggest selling point didn't hurt." Okay, bro,
I was laughing
nice,
and then I apologized. I'm like, "Huh?"
nice.
Here's my response to all the critique, and here's why I believe that a longer run wouldn't have worked with Goldberg. It could, I mean, it could have potentially worked, but here's
What
why I
would it
don't
have
think
been?
that. Well, that's kind of where I'm coming from, right? You look at even 3 weeks before the match was actually happened, Gunther wasn't even world champion. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
You look at the weekend before that, it was a pay-per-view weekend before in Saudi Arabia, which you did not, clearly they wanted to do an American thing. My thing is WWE's product right now, and it isn't necessary. It's just really how they kind of go with things. They're not really trying to sell multiple things at once, which is I think why people are get the we get the bill that we get for certain pay-per-views. WWE since WrestleMania 41 has had a pay-per-view or PLE event or massive event every 3 weeks leading up to now.
Mhm.
Legitimately every 3 weeks. You go Backlash, you go Night of Champions, you go to the first Saturday night's main event, you go Evolution, you go
Right.
Money in the Bank, you go with the AAA Worlds Collide. You have like multiple things, multiple weekends on things, NXT PLEs, everything like that. I'm assuming what they're doing is that they don't really want to confuse the audience too much by saying we're going to book Saturday night's main event and we're going to have it on the road as we're booking Night of Champions
Mhm.
because it would just kind of confuse the direction of it all. Um, so Goldberg had 3 weeks. It just is what it is. For the most optimal thing, the R Truth thing got in a bunch of way. Imagine them trying to book Goldberg thing during the R Truth thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Which
imagine
the
that.
R-Truth thing of which I think people will look back upon as one of the biggest mistakes that they could have used their voice for this year.
It's still
I
it still is not paying like nothing is paying dust. Nothing is looking good for all that chanting during women's matches, all that tweeting,
Mhm.
all that rah rah. And now look what we're doing. No one tweets no more. Where's the
yeah,
we want
no.
truth? Where we want truth now?
I
Nah, we're
mean,
focused on
they niggas got truth. I mean, he's just
truth.
there. He's just
Yeah, using
but
truth to catapult to other feuds, better feuds. Yeah,
right,
that's what we want truth for.
essentially. But
Thumbs up.
Goldberg, I mean, I don't think there's anything in WWE's calendar with how stacked it was over the last number of years, stacked number of months that could have warranted Goldberg getting a longer build towards this. The build would have had to start when Jay Uso was world champion, or they just say, "Hey, we're just gonna put it against Gunther," and then Gunther doesn't even get a shot at the world
But you
championship.
know, but you know the real shit is the longer bill would have meant more matches, and I think people
Yes.
in that company knew this guy couldn't go even more than a part-timer schedule with some of the guys in there, and you don't wanna mortgage a lot of these you barely want to give away Gunther and have
Yeah,
him lose, you know what I'm saying? You
Mhm.
barely wanna do that, and he didn't lose, but it's like you barely wanna do any of those things, so, like, a lot of people would have had to a lot of their young stars because
especially
keep
on
in
the
mind.
build to SummerSlam. You know what I'm saying? You're
Yeah.
building him towards
Yeah.
SummerSlam. He's just the world champion. This is essentially his first defense, and you got to make him look like a bitch for 3 weeks before he gets up to the match.
Yeah, keep in mind, keep very much in mind that, like, the half of their or a large part of the men there are below 50. You know what I'm saying? They're at least at the very least like mid 30s. You know what I'm saying? So you're mortgaging off a lot of your guys. Like AJ's not about to take no pin to Goldberg. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
a lot of these people are just not going to do that. So like for him to be like, oh, I like and that's another thing that fucking bothered me. It was just like, well, I'm not saying that they did it on purpose, but I'm saying that they planned it and knew that it was gonna happen. I'm just like,
What
what
else does that
do you
mean?
mean?
What else does that mean? Because you also have to consider like what does a last Goldberg run promo wise, story wise look like? Who are you sacrificing for that? Like we just said, no one's coughing up time for this man. Oh, I think that a good 3 week sprint to give you your flowers. They made shows around you coming here, whole
Yeah,
segments, a whole show built around you.
Mhm.
What is a pro? If you do a prolonged run, you run the risk of taking away the specialness of that last Saturday night's main event, being in Atlanta, being the thing about Goldberg. They literally built the PLE around you and said, "Hey, put some other 3 matches on there.
yeah,
Just make something up."
And on network TV, where a lot of people who probably saw you during those years are probably watching. Like that's like the biggest possible audience you could have gotten at
yeah,
that point
absolutely.
in
I think,
America.
and I don't think there's no way in my mind, considering how he came in the Saturday night's main event, that he would have been able to been any kind of active beforehand. The man came in limping. The man, he hurt himself training. He has expressed the stuff that he's hurt himself training in the build to this event, and that maybe even push things back a little bit. I think with Goldberg, I mean, I don't argue with him in terms of like he thinking that maybe he deserved more. Goldberg was a big phenomenon and Goldberg is a big star. It just is
Yeah.
what it is. But I
Yeah.
think it's so tacky and so strange for you to get all these things. You got so much when others have gotten so little.
Yeah.
And you are complaining about it the first chance you get. This isn't even like 2, 3 years down the line. This
I
is
think
like the
I
first
I
chance he got.
I go immediately to
This-
Kurt Angle and the anger that people had about the way that that was handled, and I'm like, "Do you think Kurt Angle would have just loved to have, half of what you got?" And he
He
probably
wanted
was
his
half.
he wanted his final match against John Cena, and they were just like, "No, just Baron Corbin, nigga."
and John Cena
Baron
was
Corbin,
15 years younger at that point. He would have actually got a good match.
but he got
But
Baron Corbin in the middle of the longest WrestleMania ever.
yeah, and it unfortunately is what it is, but there's not much you can do. But ultimately, the career of Kurt Angle shines more than the final match of his. The career that he's going to go down as one of the greatest of all time, and Goldberg, I mean, is the same. He's a strong phenomenon as well. Like he'll never be the greatest in-ring wrestler of all time, but he'll definitely be one of the most popular wrestlers of all time. He just is. But for you, I made the tweet about so much of it, and people came up with the most stupid. I mean, this isn't the first time, even this week, that I tweet something and just getting
I love your
response.
mentions, Meelz. I love them so bad.
Twitter Meals has been the best thing to go back to, bro.
Has been amazing. I go back to that the black tweet so much, cause man,
I
the res-
muted it a while ago, so it is what it is. I forgot what other one I tweeted this week that I think Ricochet responded to, but I forgot. But I muted it before he even responded to it, and I was just like, all right, whatever, because I know how this is gonna turn out, and it's people who aren't even really fans of Goldberg saying like, no, they should have done more for him. They should have give this, and I think people are comparing it to the Sting run. But the thing about the Sting run is, one, Sting wrestled actively.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sting
a
was
lot.
part of the fabric of AEW for a long time before he got there.
Mhm.
Goldberg hadn't wrestled in years, and maybe that's to no fault of his own, but it was probably the best thing for him since he can't really even hold up anymore. He was promised the last match a number of years ago. This new by the last regime, right? By Vince
Right.
Right.
McMahon.
Yeah.
Um, the new regime, to be honest with you, H isn't really for all the nostalgic shit. No, it just isn't. He's more so looking forward, progressing new stars. You saw that with kind of Evolution and how that turned out. But they said, you know what? Let's give him a show anyway. And you know, Meltzer argues that they did this show just purposely so they could just put it against All In or whatever it is. Fine.
Sure.
Who the
Sure.
fuck cares? It doesn't even matter at this point. But the point is, it just feels. I agree that it feels wholly ungrateful to literally the first chance you get, the Tuesday after the Saturday.
It wasn't even like weeks later, or maybe even a
N-
month. He said,
no, it was 3 days
3 days,
later.
And then the nigga said, "I got more to say in 2 weeks." I don't give a
2
fuck.
more to
Yeah,
say. Like, you gonna bury Gunther more? What is there? What more?
The
I
Gunther shit
just
to me was like so classless. I think in a lot of ways because again, part of the again, I'm I am a Goldberg fan. All right,
yeah,
I mince no
Mhm.
words about how I feel about this guy on this show publicly all the time. Right, so like and I say this because like, it's classes because like when you're doing this and in this position that you're in, you're supposed to be bigging up the new guys that are coming after you. And for you to be like, oh man, I expressed to him I was sorry afterwards. I'm like, bro, if that wasn't planned, don't no sell his shit. I would have actually now the more I think about it, I'm like, man, I would have just rather
hold
Goldberg
off on him.
actually no, like no, I would have rather Goldberg just like had sold the fucking chop at this point. Like they're actually now you know what the story was whack. Now that was fake because it wasn't just him trying to. That wasn't like a Superman spot. That was him just being an asshole.
He was,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like that whole thing had no psychology. You just want to make the guy look like an idiot because you
Yeah,
probably saw people say, "Oh, them chops gonna hurt you, boy," and he said, "No, they're not." They're
They're
and
not.
it's like,
I'm gonna make this look fake. Like,
yeah,
for
like
what?
like that shit is corny, man. That shit is hella corny, bro. Like
yeah,
I'm not fucking with that. I didn't fuck with that at all.
yeah. Just kind of wrap this thing up. I just think you know we giving all of our opinions. I'm sure he's got his own opinions on everybody else's opinions. At the end of the day, he's retired, so it's not like he's coming back.
The only people who agree with that are people who like people in your mentions who are just rabble rousers. Because here's the thing, but that I always see is that like people hate the thing, like people hated Goldberg's retirement and shit, right? People hate WWE for that shit, right? Then it
Mhm.
happens, those same people turn around and are backing him for these comments. Because it's
Yeah,
not about Goldberg, it's not about fucking the match, it's not about anything like sensical. It's just
It's just
about
being
like hating one
contrarian.
thing. Yeah, just being contrary and being tribalistic. You know what I'm saying? Like that no one actually wants to tackle this in a smart way. And I think that's my issue with it.
And you can tell it's really that's what it's about, because that conversation didn't last past that day. Like, no one was really like defending or talking about, yeah, Goldberg was on to something. You ain't see that after them initial thoughts, because they
yeah,
realized, "Oh, what am I defending Goldberg for?" Like, I kind of wanted to go back to your Sting run news for a little bit, because to compare it to that, another point was Sting's last run mattered a lot, because like Heike, he was the biggest star in AEW at the time. Like, he's what a lot of people were tuning in for. He was carrying a lot of that weight. During this moment in Goldberg's time, Goldberg coming into WWE's ecosystem now, you can blip and we don't miss you.
Yeah.
Like, we got you were going against Gunther. We have stars. Cody's next. We have Randy. We have people currently still on.
hmm
You're not this necessary field right now that we need to build up. We have you for a show. We did the show. You ain't getting the Sting run, baby. And now you're definitely not getting nothing else. Because, excuse me, Paul ain't have to give you that last match.
I'm sure. I mean, I can't. I don't know. I mean, he says that he has no interest in continuing to work with WWE. That remains to be seen. Everyone eventually runs for the bag when the bag is presented.
Drake had to
Not
run from it.
Yeah, not saying that he'll have another match, but there will be another appearance at some point in the future. There'll be some point where they need, they want Goldberg for something, and Goldberg is like, I want to be remembered. Damn it, I don't want to be remembered as a bitch. You know what I'm saying? And his ego will move forward and try to think it, but it's just, I wouldn't be surprised if WWE was essentially like,
Eat a Frank.
not even that. I think they'll be the opposite. It's like, I'm sorry, I thought, it turned out that way. I would have also said, in the 3 months that we planned this in the negotiation talk, it would have been nice if you had said something about this.
This
Um,
nigga got merch.
he got
So
Yeah.
like
merch. I mean, he got the thing. I'm sure he wanted more. I guess he
He got a
just
video
wanted more.
package. He got a video
Um,
package. A good
eh,
one, too.
he wanted more, and we're here to tell him that there was no more. and
Yeah, I
that's
mean
where
that
that's
was it. Because SummerSlam is in 3 weeks after that, or is a month after that. They just finished another pay-per-view, another PLE. Like the wheels keep turning, the car keeps moving. I don't know where Goldberg would have fit in all of this. But it is what it is. I mean, there's a new horse in town. There's always a TNA. You never know. Total
Oh
nonstop
God.
Goldberg.
Oh
To
God.
Gunther's point, did you guys see that tweet about this guy saying Gunther tapping out to Jey Uso is the worst thing that's ever happened to him?
Because no, like what? It's a tap out. It's how we're supposed to react to heels. Heels. What's it called? Quan had a good. He tweeted a good tweet. Y'all try too hard to make these wrestlers feel like they're supposed to be cool. No, these are comic book villains. These are villains who are supposed to have these gimmicks towards them, have these feats that they're supposed to be defeated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's it's how you're supposed to react. You're supposed to be a fan. You know, Paul messed up when he said it, but it means a lot. You're supposed to be a fan. You're supposed to feel these comic book feelings, and people are getting lost in that. Still lost in it hard and tweeting. I think what makes it worse is that these tweets get likes and reposts. That's what really be grinding my gears. That means a lot of you agree. A lot of you just slow.
Yeah, I don't even really know if I have many words for it. I just wanted to bring it to Mills's attention
I saw it.
because because here's my thing, man. I'm starting to get to the point where I don't actually believe these people have ever watched wrestling in their lives.
They don't.
hmm
They don't.
I
Like
mean,
like
we'll talk about it more with the TNA pay-per-view.
oh,
Um,
let's get to it. Yeah,
and the
because that's another
reaction.
that's a good segue actually.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
TNA had Slammiversary over the weekend. In Elmont, New York, UBS Arena. AEW goes there a lot. Managed to, I wouldn't say they sold out the joint, but they did a really good attendance number. They're biggest in North America in the company's history.
They
7,060.
did higher than the number twos.
Amen.
Hey, 1,000.
Y'all saw that damn Shoney's, that damn Bennigan's they was in.
Listen, man, Bennigan's is crazy. But they got a lot of, I mean, it was a lot of good forward momentum for TNA this weekend, and I think it's something that they've managed to do all this kind of for the last year and change. I would really equate it to the beginning of last January when they decided to change their name back to TNA from Impact Wrestling and kind of move forward from there. They've let go people have transitioned, people have moved, but the company still managed to move on and move forward. TNA Slammiversary, it was here. It was the hottest pay-per-view of the weekend because it was the only pay-per-view of the weekend. But
Hey.
but it was headlined. I mean, I know I watched the show, so can I give you just a brief
Yeah,
synopsis?
I don't ever line cross.
Okay,
So
I'm
yeah,
trusting
go
your
ahead.
word. I know what
fair,
happens. I don't watch what happens. Hey.
fair enough. Mustafa Ali versus Cedric Alexander. It was a good match. I mean, it wasn't quite as spry as their previous matches. It was years ago, but that was like 10 years ago, to be honest with you. Um, People only really highlighted by the one spot where Ali went for you know, the
And
plancha through
nearly
the
died.
ropes and nearly died. Yeah. So, but that would be a recurring theme throughout the night.
Oh,
8-man tag. I'll be honest with you. It was Matt Cardona and the System. Who I could just old white dudes. Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, and Fandango. Versus Dark State. Let me tell you something about Dark State. Wrap it up. Send it to Evolve.
no.
Send it to Evolve.
Oh.
Saquon Sugars
Oh.
can stay. Everybody else got to go.
It's still just. Hey, man.
It don't. It. I think Dark State. It seemed like the plot was there when they started, and then the plot got lost along the way because it would have been a much more interesting to pair them with Trick willingly um, than them not do anything and be featured on TNA television for a month. Um, Indy Hartwell versus Tessa Blanchard was one of the worst matches I've ever seen in my life.
Oh. Oh.
By every stretch imagination of the word. I
India
said
was
that
the
I
biggest.
admitted this.
I saw you say like, oh, India is actually bad, and then somebody was like, well, I'm a blame Tessa. I was like,
Oh,
nah.
the tests are being bad. That's why it's bad. It's not Indy's fault. All
Yeah,
right.
there's two people with talent in there,
There's
and
two.
unfortunately, the racist is the one with the most talent. I'm sorry.
Like Indy Hartwell to me, and I mean, I've said this on the pod before. I said it when she got released, unfortunately. Um, just it's not for lack of trying, but it is for the lack of doing because she has
A
no
lack.
bag. She has no bag at all. I've never seen anyone with no bag, like just none, and everything just makes it worse. They had a 15-minute match. It
Mm.
was it was very like it reminded me of when you used to watch. I don't know, Justin, if you used to watch TNA pay-per-views back in the day.
Yes, I did.
There would always be one match that was like, this is terrible.
I mean, at certain points there'd be three, but yeah, I get it.
But there was one this wasn't quite what was it? Charmel versus oh my god, what's that match that was so terrible? It was like one of them.
Charmel versus Jenna Maraska.
Yes, it wasn't quite that, which happened at Victory Road 2009. Um, but this was pretty bad based on how much effort they actually gave. So, Indy Hartwell wins. I don't know what that means, but keep it pushing.
Why did Tessa get suspended? Because she's racist?
I guess so. She just got
Oh, that's
suspended.
what
Oh, she beat up a medical person and they just suspended her.
oh,
So
that was
on
a
camera.
real suspension. I thought that
that
was.
timing is interesting to me because of how the women's title ended up. Like it seems like to me that they did that angle so she would not be involved in whatever's going on with NXT in the coming months.
Yeah.
Well,
Sean was like, you ain't bring that over here.
speaking of that, JC Jane defeats Masha Slamovich. She is now the NXT Women's Champion and the TNA Knockouts World Champion. We'll get more to that, but fine match. I'm a I'm a I'm a I'm a JC Jane fan. It
I'm
just
on the
is what it is.
JC train. After the
Yeah,
Jordan match, I
come on,
was
man.
like, and I kind of want to watch this match. So if there's
Hey,
any way to
man.
look back, I may tap in. I'm on
Hey,
the JC
man. I'm
train.
sure it's on YouTube or Daily Motion or wherever the fuck TNA uploads their pay per views.
I'm gonna find it on Twitter.
um, I'm trying to figure out what our JC Jane fans go. We're gonna be playing Janes. Maybe that's where we are.
Yeah,
Plain
yeah, that's what y'all look
Janes.
like. Plain Jane. Go ahead.
Plain Janes.
Leon Slater defeated Moose for the TNA X Division champion to become the youngest ever X Division champion in history. He beats out Amazing Red, who was the previous holder of that. It was a great match. All parties include the giant hammerhead motherfucker in the ring.
Oh my word.
Um, but
My word.
great match, which eventually led to AJ Styles coming out. And AJ Styles is like, this is how you look towards the future, my guy. This is how you build something up. He comes out, I mean, he was the first ever X Division champion. There's so much about the X Division that people associate with AJ Styles, especially considering I guess no one has watched TNA in like maybe like the last 15 years actively. So there's so much that we associate with TNA and AJ Styles. He comes out to his old music, gets a huge pop. Um, has this great moment in the ring, really uses that entire moment, uses that to really applaud Leon Slater and what he's done in the business. And I was like, God damn. Some people just know how business is done. You know what I'm saying? So
Like,
shout
take
out
a
to
look,
AJ.
Goldberg.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how AJ Styles, classy guy, for being able to do that. Um, we also had a four-way tag team ladder match for the TNA World Tag Team Championships between the Hardys, the Nemeths, the Rascals, and First Class. Boy, all right, relax. All right, the Hardys win. I'll leave it there. We get to the main event. Quite honestly, one of the biggest triple threat matches in TNA history for the TNA World Champion. It is Trick Williams defending against Joe Hendry and Mike Santana. A year ago, I would have said you crazy for even booking this and thinking I would watch it. Um, but nonetheless, we are here. Mike Santana's hotter than he ever been, and this is his home city. Joe Hendry is clearly on the way out.
Most obviously.
um, And Trick Williams again has really managed to find himself in the fold of this heel thing. Trick Williams wins the TNA World Championship. Tom Phillips makes a great note on commentary to say both TNA World Championships are now held by NXT superstars. What does this mean as we move forward to Bound for Glory?
And it's like
People
no one heard that.
people lost their minds. People was like, look at how WWE is doing TNA. People wasn't sure of like how they could not crown Mike Santana in this moment. Mind you, it's a triple threat match. God damn, this is
I mean, and Mike Santana didn't even get pinned, from what I understand.
No, he did it.
Yeah.
It was Joe Hendry who got pinned. Mike Santana actually hit the final move. Joe Hendry goes down. Trick essentially recovers from feigning injury,
He pressed
and
R1.
yeah, dirty finish, as we've said.
Mhm.
And he tosses Mike Santana out the ring. He pins Joe Hendry, and he retains the championship.
Which I don't know how you could be more clear how that sets something up for a
No,
one-on-one between.
this is the argument. Let me pose the argument. Let me pose the argument that
Sure.
everyone's saying,
Sure.
because what's funny to me about this argument, guys, is that I truly do not remember a lot of people thinking that this was like a make or break. Like I did not. I must not
No,
have
I
seen
mean
it, but
people
everyone.
were people
But
thought it was
why? But why? Because they're like,
because
oh, it's the biggest eyes that you've ever seen. I'm like, yes.
it's
Here's the
Mike
thing.
Santana's hometown as well.
I get that argument. I get that argument. But here's the
Mhm.
thing. When you have the biggest eyes and the biggest attention, unless you've been crafting a storyline for more than, this long, that's not your biggest audience. It's not that that's you take this audience on a ride. This is
And
the
you get
beginning of the
bigger.
story. And people think
Mhm.
it was the end. It was not the beginning of the story. It's not the beginning of the story for him. I
Let me
said
ask you a
this
question.
before.
Do you still think uh Moxley should have retained?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
After
I
looking
think
at
that would
Dynamite last week, don't you?
yeah,
Because look at
I
them
think
ratings. Look where we're at now.
Yeah,
I,
like no, seriously, like looking at Dynamite last week, don't you?
I thought I agree. I thought both endings and Tony Khan did something very, very shady after the pay-per-view where he tweeted out, make sure you guys tune in to the Dynamite this week. It's a great show. Thank you for all AEW fans. Blah, blah, blah. But I thought it
Great
was a tale
impression.
of thank you. I thought it was a tale of two finishes because one clearly was brought on by crowd support and people essentially being like, this has to happen at this pay-per-view. And the promoter essentially says, I agree. Let's have it happen. And this one seems to be playing a little bit more of a long game. So I ask you, Justin, why do you think this is seemingly more beneficial for TNA than doing the making everybody happy story?
Because I think back to one of the greatest, and I need people to really listen to this. I think back to one of the greatest invasion storylines of all time. And I'm not saying that this is going to be like that, because I still say this is one of my favorite wrestling storylines ever. And it's ROH versus CZW, the invasion
Mm,
angle. It was an angle that spanned two different promotions, multiple different characters, and then ended in a knockdown drag out, like, warfare match, right? I'm not saying this is going to end up like that, but I'm saying that the story was ROH was getting their asses kicked. They were getting their asses kicked because essentially they were the baby faces here. And you want to pay to continue to see if the baby faces will prevail. And at the beginning of the story, you do not want the heels to lose, because then you have no story. This is
yeah.
not about the attendance rate. It's about TNA expertly, not, I won't even put expertly there, but I'll say putting in a storyline in place where you
I just
have
cut that.
Fine.
where you have the biggest eyes, and then there's people who haven't watched in years to say, "Oh shit, this Trick Williams guy is a real dick," or he's from WWE, or what's going to happen next week. If Mike Santana wins, it's like, "Oh, that was cool. I'm never watching TNA again," because at the end of the day, you don't get why Santana's special from one fucking show if you've never seen it before. You get what's special about him from weeks and weeks and weeks of him overcoming, from him prevailing, from him showing up on NXT, from him showing up on Impact, and you following this guy's story, and Trick Williams being the antithesis of that. Same way for Masha and JC Jane. Now you have two heels, and would you look at that? There's two heels that have the championships. So
Mm.
that means there's two people that have to overcome this insurmountable odds to stop the WWE invasion. In fact, WWE is positioning themselves as the heels here.
people's whole fantasies of Fed Bad, they're literally giving to you a story of Fed Bad, and
Yes.
we're not, and you're not understanding that they're allowing you to do it. This is the story. Yes, we're the evil ones here.
You're
It's simple.
supposed to, yes, you're supposed to be mad. That's the point. You're supposed to be upset, but not that upset. Not upset to the point where you're like, TNA really screwed the pooch. They didn't.
Well,
The
the
only
argument that people are saying is essentially like, hey,
oh, we're watching anyway.
well, this is yes. But
Shit.
the argument that people are saying is essentially like, is this another LOL TNA moment? Like moments that you have where it's supposed to be the moment to crown someone, and maybe they either take too long or they never even get to it at some point.
Did
But
they
this
not take a
clearly,
long time to crown Joe Hendry also?
I mean, they did. He I think he lost the match last year at Slammiversary. I think it was Slammiversary. It sure the fuck was. Yes, it
And
was.
then he wanted a Bound for Glory, did he not?
I
Let
think
me
so.
look it up. Let me look it
I'm
up.
acting like I know.
And then that led to one of the
He did
that
not.
led
He did not win at Bound for Glory. He ends
okay,
up
well he
winning
won it
at
eventually.
yeah. He ends up winning it at where
So they made him
Genesis.
wait longer.
Yeah,
So
they
they
made him
made
wait
him wait
longer.
longer.
But that's the thing. I don't think that'll happen because, like, again, you don't want Trick who could be called up tomorrow. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? To
Because as we
effectively,
saw,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it. These things can end at any time, right? But at the end of the day, my whole point is, don't get so lost in your emotions that you're forgetting that like this is a TV show that they have to fill time for every single week. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
This is a TV show that they have to create a story for. If you want Mike Santana to be that Jay Uso type babyface that you guys say that he is, we'll let people like me who don't watch the show. I don't even watch it, and I was just like, I knew Trick was going to win because that's the most sensical thing they could do. You
right.
bring the eyes into the product, and then you say, follow us on this journey real quick, and you'll get to see this Mike Santana guy grow, and you'll get to see Trick Williams grow as well and throw these roadblocks in his way because he didn't get pinned, he didn't look stupid, and then he said he went on what did he go on the mic right afterwards and say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to win this title for y'all." He's still going to go after it. This is my thing too. Y'all just saw this story play out 2 years ago at WrestleMania.
hmm
Y'all just saw this happen. Y'all just saw, and I'm not saying WWE is on the same level of TNA, but like people had the same reaction. They said,
Yeah.
"Well, how the fuck is it? This was the biggest time they could do it. This was the greatest thing." No, they made a better finish. They made a better ending of the story. And why don't y'all just wait? Let it play out again. And I hate to be defending TNA, but let it fucking play out. But I
You really, I
understand.
mean,
But I
it's a collab.
understand the apprehension though, because TNA has burned so many people for decades. It's the reason I don't watch. It's the reason Meelz you probably didn't watch. Bosa as
No, I
well. Like
didn't.
they've burned people so much, and I understand that there's apprehension about how they're gonna land this plane.
LOL TNA is a real thing. Like it
It
is a
is,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
think that this finish was far from LOL TNA. There's been worse TNA finishes that you guys are forgetting about. This is actually the one that makes sense.
Because no
yeah.
one here still looks stupid. Like, again, Mike got the finish off. It's a simple story. It, I don't get it, man. I don't get it, man.
Either way, Trick Williams, I think, is ready. I think he's
I think
finally
so.
there. I think he's finally
Finally,
there.
yes.
I think JC is ready. I think she's finally there. I think these two are the perfect people to be holding these titles going into it. And I would say I was gonna say like give it to him at Heat Wave. I'm not really sure what the JC plan is. It's very clear what the Mike Santana plan is. I'm not really sure where they're gonna go with JC in terms of like who she would drop it to.
hmm
But I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I mean, I'm especially more intrigued in these two than I am with the actual NXT title holders, the other title holders on the show, like
Yeah.
Oba and them. Like I'm way more interested in what's going on with them. So yeah.
Good business decision, I'll say. But definitely people left the pay-per-view. I mean, people are super jacked and excited for Mike Santana, but this is how it's supposed to make you feel.
100%.
Um, yeah, that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say about that. Uh, good decision by TNA. TNA is clearly fishing for a television deal. Eric Bischoff went on Hawani yesterday, essentially saying this is peak hating. You know what I'm saying? This is the hate that you can only really get by developing over years. It's like it's not really delusional, but it's hating by any means necessary because he went on Helwani and he was like, "Do you think that TNA could be a viable number two?" And he's like, "Absolutely." Especially with everything that he did. And I'm just like, this is hating on another level. This is hating just to hate. This is hating because it's fuck you niggas. That's
That's
really
that
what it
good
is.
hate.
Here's the
That's
thing
that
though,
right over hate.
but the thing is though, I kind of understand somewhat what he means
Okay.
because if there's more pressure to be the number two and there's more pressure on AEW from TNA, especially with WWE backing, they're hoping and banking on AEW to overcommit, to overreach, spend more money, to
Mhm.
do more, try and do more just to keep up. And if they can't keep up, the perception war will lie with TNA, where it's like, hey, they're not seeming desperate. You know what I mean? Like TNA right now, like people are looking at them like they're desperate because they haven't really landed the plane yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
They haven't landed the plane on this big angle that sets up this partnership. The partnership has been very kind of like, oh, shaking hands. Now they're embedded after
Mhm.
Slammiversary, right? So if they land the plane and they start doing these big venues again, they start getting it, they get a TV deal because here's the thing, a TV deal is key to them actually competing.
Mhm.
That's key to them competing. You
Right,
look at
right.
AEW, they have a brand that doesn't even air on TV right now. So again, you want to make them overreach and say, "Oh, we're going to get ROH a TV deal, and we're going to spend more money to make sure that we can keep this TV deal up, so that we can at least give them a stopgap between us and TNA." And then, oh, we're going to lose talent because we're going to lose money, and
Mhm.
we're paying for all this stuff. I
That
kind of
burnout's
get
gonna
what he
happen.
it is exactly like
Yeah.
I get what he's saying. I'm not saying I don't. It is hate. Like let's be clear, it is hate. But like I get where you know he could be making sense here, where it's like he wants Tony to overcommit and overreach because as much money as a billionaire could have, they don't want to lose all their money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mhm.
So essentially, they're gonna have to break even in some way, shape, or form. And so it's like the AEW will be fools to not see what TNA is doing and they're doing it without them. So of course they're gonna be feeling the squeeze. And I think WWE wants to get as big of a gap between them by putting TNA in front of them and saying, okay, this is an op that we can afford to live.
Absolutely. I agree. You got AJ Styles there. I'm sure he's gonna have a match at some point. Um, it was rumored that the initial plans was supposed to be him and Frankie Kazarian, which I was like, I don't know why he would do that. No offense to Frankie Kazarian, who came out looking like fucking Elvis,
All the
but
fits. Because AJ
yeah,
really he that.
yeah. But he was like, you know what? Let me do this, and we can always get back to that. So hopefully, um, I want to do one thing that happened on the show this week, and we can get people over to Patreon. How about that?
For real.
Because it was the I want to do the main event segment of Monday Night Raw. Let's talk about it. Big Roman coming down
I gotta take. Oh, go
and
ahead.
confronting Paul Heyman really for the first time since WrestleMania. Um, we've seen this stable has essentially shifted. It seems like Seth Rollins, I mean, at least from what Heyman says, is going to be out for quite a while.
No, I wouldn't believe that.
Okay, he's a also yeah, it's Paul Heyman, notable capper.
I wouldn't believe
Um,
Notable
but it
capper.
seems like he's going to be out for a while, and they're moving forward with it. And then Roman Reigns comes out and really confronts this new gang, this new crew, these new people. Justin, what did you think of this segment? And this close to Monday Night Raw. It didn't really lead to a match being booked, which was kind of
Strange. It sounds like it's gonna get booked next week.
yeah. Um, but how did you feel about Roman's return? Essentially,
Well, he cut his first babyface promo in a really long time. Um,
Mhm.
it was a babyface promo. The people are firmly back into it with him, and that's the thing. Like that, I've always kind of lamented about is that like he hasn't ever really addressed or talked about any of these things. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
So it was good to have that, but I can't help but think in you know a part of me think like it's kind of too little, too late in my eyes to be
hmm.
explaining all of it because it's been so damn long. Where it's
It's
just like
been a long time since he
It's been
since
a
you
lost the
long
title.
time.
since you've lost the
Yeah.
title, since you've been a baby face, it's been a year since he came back as a baby face and he was still acting like a heel. Um, I think it was appreciated for sure that but I wish it didn't take this damn long. It's just felt like ever since 2021, 22,
Hmm.
after he beat Cody or 23 after he beat Cody, that he just
Yeah.
kind of been spinning his wheels up until like the real story progression of like this fall or this spring after WrestleMania, his
Yeah.
story actually progressed. Um, but like
But he's never there, so it's kind of
it's true. It's and I like that Braun brought that up, but like I thought that the promo was like the best parts of Roman Reigns and the worst parts of Roman Reigns. Because then you remember when he's not what he's like when he's not a heel and he's really corny. He's really corny. And you remember that and it's like, "Oh man, that's right. He is corny as fuck."
I see you thinking about what you're about to say. Oh no.
Yeah, like because he
No.
can't shit on people because it's that easy to do when he's a heel. And let's be clear, like the fans are totally into it. And I think that if you were a fan of his, like that promo is what you've been waiting to hear for five years, right? But
Mhm.
like it's funny that he got no punishment for how he treated people for all those 4 years.
yeah.
I
Like
That's
think I
literally
really
zero
think
punishment.
I
go
think
ahead.
that's the aspect that like fumbles this being the babyface promo is supposed to be because it's he's doing this at a time where it's not about everyone else anymore. Like this would have came perfectly, like you said, Justin, last year when he was supposed to be facing his repercussions of this. This being in response to Seth's group and all that, and Paul comes at a weird time because I mean we're over it at that point. You supposed to be talking to them niggas now. What's Seth and what we got to do with what you think what you went through. You know what I'm saying? What you did to other people. What you like. This is about us. It's not about what your past. So letting that come out now at such a time, it feels kind of awkward.
Yeah, I would say so. I feel like and you mentioned it, Justin, with the whole Cody thing. You go back to last year. Actually, you go back a number of years. Cody cuts the promo. You're about to be a Roman with no reign, a man with no bloodline, all this other
Mhm,
stuff like that. And
mhm.
then it all happens. But then again, he doesn't really get punished for anything because they reunite like a month and a half later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like all his cousins love him again. So he doesn't really get to like reckon with everything that he's done, all the trauma that he's put them through, all the hurdles and fires that he's managed to put out. He clearly has one with Seth. I mean, even though I guess
But the thing
they go
that
back to
makes it
Seth being the
awkward.
one turning on him. Seth is the one who created the monster, but ultimately he's still a monster nonetheless.
That's what I'm saying,
Um,
like, and Seth was the one who, like, was a babyface throughout all of it, like, pretty much
Yeah.
a lot of the last half of his run, he was a babyface for, and, like, he was the reason you lost the title, he doesn't bring that up either.
yeah,
Mhm,
You know what I mean?
mhm.
Like, that was the thing, it's like and isn't it so poetic that Seth is injured right when they're like, they could actually do this again? It's,
yeah.
like, poetic how much these 2 miss each other, in the ring sometimes, but, like, I felt the Heyman part was I thought Houston was obnoxious during this whole section. Let me just be clear. They were
I mean,
incredibly
yeah.
they were quiet the whole night during Vaquera
Really?
and EO going crazy. I felt like they were, like, real soft the whole night.
No, they clearly were there for the stars. Like it truly showed, and I wish WWE. I think they could have done a little bit of repositioning on the show to really like because it didn't really start. How did the show fucking start off? I
It
mean,
started with the
It started with
fucking,
the Punk and Gunther.
with Punk and Gunther,
oh,
and
all right, yeah, it
then
kind of
you
started
got
high.
to, like, fucking we'll talk about it on Patreon,
Yeah,
but,
we'll
like
talk about it on Patreon. But yeah, but but I think I agree with you. I think this segment showed all the I mean, the good things about Roman Reigns, which is definitely that he's still popular and he still has the aura and all this other shit like that, but definitely also continues to show the worst parts of him, which is him as a face that can't really figure out that fine line between a little bit of earnestness in the things that he's saying, but he still can't get out of tribal chief
Tribal
mode.
Chief. I was about to say, yeah.
He
It's
still
Tribal
can't
Chief, but
really
nice.
yeah, so he can't really get out of that his own way on that. So it's a little bit tough to deal with, but the segment ends. I mean, he's getting jumped by the group, and then clearly the more over guy shows up. They were waiting all night for fucking Jey Uso. Let me tell you, I was waiting all night for Jey Uso. I was like, when's the Jey Uso segment coming up?
He is
He
not
showed
hurt from losing that title. by the way.
No, not at
Can't
all.
stop the yeet
He
at all.
shows he shows up, clears out the two guys. Again, a match isn't announced. I still feel like they're not sure of whether they want to do Roman versus Braun or the tag team match yet. Um,
They should just do the
Let's go
tag
for a
team match.
tag match. Yeah,
Yeah, they
because it
should
gets
just do the
Jay on the card. It's easy. It's right there.
yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, but it was an interesting segment on the show. Again, this is Roman's return. Who knows how long he'll be with us? But he is here for now, and this is kind of how it's ended. Um, we should probably transition over to Patreon.
Yeah, let's get the Patreon. We'll talk more about the show at large and the speed of which this SummerSlam card is being built out. I actually have the card in front of me. I'm like, it looks pretty much done at this point. But we'll talk about that on Patreon. But I want to thank and Bosa is going to be joining us for Patreon as well. But for the public
Yeah.
people, thank you Bosa for joining us. And you're here for the long run, so stick around. We'll be there on Patreon. But thank you guys for listening on our free version, on our public version, and we'll be right back on the A Show. But until next week, thank you guys for listening. Peace.